Okay, so hello YouTube. This is Angela, and this is the second time I tried to make this video. The first time I made the whole video, and for some reason my microphone settings were switched to the computer, and then there was instead of the one in my camera. So yeah. Anyways, that was quite annoying. The purpose of my video today is that I want to talk about Tourette syndrome. I want to talk about what Tourette syndrome is, and then the things that I deal with Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder that was discovered by a man named Gilles de la Tourette many years ago, in 19 and who first discovered the disorder in a French noblewoman. Anyways, that's the story. So Tourette syndrome is characterized by motor tics, which are rapid or repetitive body movements or jerks, and also phonic tics, which are vocalized sounds or noises made. They can range from to different things, and also in severity. Usually Tourette syndrome is onset during childhood, and sometimes can get progressively better and sometimes progressively worse. It's estimated that 1 in 10 in every 1,000 people will have some form of tic disorder or Tourette syndrome. Some children may develop a transient tic disorder when they're children. It's very common that children will have maybe some kind of a tic, like grunting or eye blinking being the most common tics that I've heard of. And then if it persists, the child may be diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. I was diagnosed with Tourette's when I was 8 years old, 8 or 9. I spent 9 months in a children's hospital, and then another 6 months in a children's hospital, experimenting me with all the, putting me on all the different drugs and things, because at first they thought it was just nervous habits. That's what my mother thought, my father thought, and all the doctors thought. It was just nervous habits, and they'll go away, but they didn't go away. So they put me on Ritalin and all this crazy stuff, and then eventually, when I was 12, I was finally diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. That's because I lived in a very backwards place, we'll just say, in North Carolina. So I guess the doctors aren't as great as other places, maybe. Then some people aren't diagnosed until much later on in life, so because they might not have the severe symptoms that I have. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Some of my tics coming out, and especially now, I'm really nervous making this video. I've only made a few videos, and a couple, videos actually, and I'm not really good at talking to an audience, and when I know that tons and tons of people are possibly going to be watching this, and I may make a complete fool out of myself. So it's probably not helping with my tics. the most common thing that people think about when they think about Tourette syndrome is the uttering and or outbursts of obscenities or inappropriate language, and that's actually very rare. And people only they estimate about the Tourette Syndrome Association estimates about 15% of people with Tourette's will actually have a coprolalia or echolalia, or copropraxia, or palilalia, or one of those that are quite rare in people. I'll talk about my specific disorders, and being somebody who has gotten progressively worse as I've gotten older. I've pretty much plateaued at this point. I don't think my tics can get any worse. My tics, well, I would say anybody with Tourette's, tics wax and wane, which means that sometimes they're lighter and it's okay. Sometimes it's better. They can definitely wane when you're distracted. For me, I don't tic when I'm either playing music or when I am doing martial arts. When I'm either teaching or practicing my martial arts. So, which is usually helpful for anybody that has Tourette's. Find something that really interests you and dig into it. But I have what's called coprolalia, as I explained earlier, with the uttering of obscenities. I will say inappropriate things, especially at inappropriate times. And it's not always. Sometimes my swearing just comes out of frustration from my tics. So, but I do say other things as well. It's not always curse words. I do say things like, I have this really bad... Sorry, there's one of my tics. Actually, you've been noticing a lot of my tics, I'm sure. But I do say things like cricket, usually things that have a sharp K with a T at the end, or sharp sound. I'll say just odd things like grommet and like that, because it's in my throat. Anyways, and so recently I've acquired the affectionate nickname Cricket, because I tend to say it all the time. So, Cricket. I also have what's called copropraxia, which is the gestures or other things that may be inappropriate, such as spitting and other things. I used to have a really bad spitting problem, and spitting on people or spitting at people, which I've been able to stop doing. But as with all tics and Tourette syndrome, some are chronic. For me, the eye blinking and barking and screeching are always going to be there, and doing that, I do that all the time, and grunting, or the throat clearing rather, that's going to be with me forever. So, but I do occasionally flip people off, and I don't mean to. It's usually when I'm really stressed or tense. I also may have a bad habit of grabbing my breasts in public, or I'll have to grab my breasts and push against them really hard, and then sometimes I'll push my hand against my crotch, and I don't mean to. Like, I know it seems inappropriate or rude, but it's not that I'm being inappropriate, like intentionally. I'm not trying to be rude, and sometimes I don't even realize that I'm doing it until somebody points it out to me. there's also echolalia, which I also have echolalia, which is sometimes people will repeat. Sometimes what somebody's saying will just catch my brain a certain way, and I'll have to repeat it back to them. It may be a word